welcome to the Miracles of Music with Mariah Mann. If you are interested in learning how music can minister to your soul, then you have come to the right place. Here, I will share a wide collection of stories for you to connect with. I will give you insights on new discoveries in this field, and you will also be able to listen to some specifically recorded songs created by me to help bring about certain thoughts and emotions within yourself. So without further ado, please sit back, relax, and enjoy the miracles of music I have to share with you today. All right, I am here with the lovely Reagan Mann today. Reagan,
Hi.
tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, well, I am Mariah's youngest sister. I still live in West Des Moines, and I miss her very much, but that's okay because I get to see her right now, which is really fun.
I'm glad that you are enjoying this. Tell them how old you are, like what grade you're in.
Yeah, sure. Okay, so I am 13, I'm in 8th grade, and I go to Stillwell Junior High.
Perfect. Thank you. Reagan is a songwriter. She writes lots of songs. She's always creating, always developing new ideas. So I wanted to interview her for this podcast and kind of dissect a songwriter's mind. That's kind of the general concept we're working towards today. So, Reagan, I'm going to start asking you some questions. Are you ready?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So, all right, Reagan, what is your go-to instrument to write songs with?
For sure, the ukulele. I think that is the best instrument for me because it supports how I want to convey a story or an emotion or a feeling or just anything I want. I think the ukulele for me helps the most.
Perfect. And can you tell people which instrument you play?
Oh, yeah, I play the ukulele, the piano, and the violin.
Perfect. And the ukulele is your favorite?
Definitely.
All right. Good to know. All right, so you are a songwriter. So I would like to know if your songwriting process is like strategic, if it's planned out. Do you do it the same way each time? Can you just share a little bit about your process?
So I definitely don't think that I have a plan when I try to write a song. But I think there's kind of a pattern that I tend to follow when I am writing. Generally, I start with a story or an emotion or a feeling or maybe like a person or a phrase or something that I just think is really important. And then I start like thinking about like what that means to me and why I'm even writing a song about it. And then once I get to there, I can start like humming and thinking and like kind of just singing to myself whenever, I don't know, like I'm bored or something. And then I start developing the song and start using my ukulele more and more, and it kind of like interconnects, and then suddenly I have a song.
Perfect. Seems like a good process for you. Okay, I would like to know where you get your inspiration from for your songs.
In terms of an idea for a specific song, a lot of the time it's like an experience or like something I've seen or heard or felt. But more emotionally and I guess mentally, I'm extremely inspired by other artists, specifically Dodie Clark. I think she's an amazing musician, and she is really, really good at telling stories. You can tell like what she's trying to tell you in just a couple of phrases of like the first line in the song. Like suddenly you can feel the emotion in the song.
Mm-hmm. That's wonderful. I know you definitely listen to a lot of her music. I always hear it on your phone, so yeah. I can tell that's one of your favorites. That's awesome. Okay, so we're going to jump ahead here to our next set of questions. and I want to know a little bit more about the different purposes of instruments. And since you play 3, the violin, the piano, and the ukulele, I would like to know, first off, what the different settings are that you play those 3 instruments in.
Yeah, so for my violin, I think of my violin as a much more formal instrument. I play it at church and at concerts and at school and orchestra and like chamber orchestra and stuff. For piano, I think it's somewhat more in the middle. I don't play it at church very often, but I have. A lot of the time I just kind of play it at home, like practicing and trying to figure out new chords. Sometimes when I'm writing, I start on the piano, but then I can't figure out a chord, so I move it to the ukulele.
Mm-hmm.
That's why so many of my songs are ukulele.
Yeah. That's a good process, though. And then you said the ukulele is just...
Oh, yeah, the ukulele, like I said, it's definitely my go-to, so when I want to write a song, I'll pick it up first. And then I think my ukulele in terms of setting is, I mean, it's kind of just like a free-form instrument.
Mm-hmm.
You don't really play it like in an orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, you've played it in your room, we've played it outside, we've played it in the car. That's something that you can take anywhere, any time of the day, and just jam out.
That's very true.
It's wonderful. I love when you do that. Okay, we're going to jump into our next and kind of final question here. So I would like to know, I'm going to throw a term at you, and I want to just hear all of your thoughts on it, okay?
Okay.
Are you ready?
I am definitely ready.
This is a new thing.
Oh.
Okay, instrument stereotyping.
Wow, mind blown.
I know. What comes to your mind?
For me, I think it's kind of real.
Can you define the term first in your own words?
So a stereotype is a assumption over a subject, person, group, or anything. Like if it's cloudy, you say, like, oh, it's probably gonna rain. Although that's more of a prediction, so I guess that's not a good example. Sorry. Okay, a stereotype would be like, all classical instruments are in orchestra.
Mm-hmm.
That would be a stereotype because it's not true. A lot of, like, brass and percussion instruments were used, like flutes. Those were super common in classical
and
pieces.
woodwinds.
Yeah, for sure.
That's the little thing I can
that
insert there.
That would be a stereotype. For me, I think that stereotyping is real for the instruments.
Because people hear a ukulele, and what's the first thing that comes to their mind?
Happy. Like, it's a sunshine, happy-go-lucky, woo-woo kind of thing. A lot of my songs, on the ukulele anyway, tend to be in a more minor key. Not because it's a sad song. In fact, a lot of them are more positive, but because I think the minor chords sound better. It's like, the C chord is, it's a good chord. I use it a lot, but the minor chords seem like they have so much more, like, rich, deep, meaningful tone. It's like they almost have more colors in them, except they're not colorful.
No, I get what you mean. That makes a lot of sense.
Okay, good.
That's cool. Yeah, so that's what you're thinking about. Instrument stereotyping for the ukulele is like a happy, upbeat, positive thing, but then you see it a little bit differently. It's more complex and more deep than that. So then you jump over to your violin.
Yeah.
And what are the stereotypes that lie with that instrument?
I think it's kind of seen more as a classical instrument, like a formal, showy, I don't know if that's the right word.
That's a good word, actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. And I think that I do kind of follow along with that because, I don't know, I don't think that my violin really spurs on my creativity. To be honest, sometimes I think it, like, kills it almost. It's like, the violin is such a... It's portrayed as such a classical instrument that sometimes, like, that classical stereotype overtakes the creativity, and then it just kind of kills the mood.
Mm-hmm. And also, the violin is a melody instrument.
Yeah.
So when you play the ukulele, you can play the chords, and then you can sing a melody on top of that.
Right.
But with a violin, first of all, it's super awkward to hold it under your chin and try to sing at the same time. I don't think that works.
I tried it once, and I failed. It was not a good
I've tried to. It's it would take some practice to master for sure.
It's possible, but it's really difficult.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. All right, this is the moment we've all been waiting for. Reagan Mann is going to sing one of her original songs for us. Reagan, can you please introduce your piece and tell us a little bit about it?
Yeah, okay, so this song is called Shadow Girl. It's kind of just about, like, taking in everything around you, but how sometimes that can be interpreted in a negative way. You know, like, you don't want all of the negative stuff in your heart because that can really seriously affect you, and it's not a happy way to be.
Perfect. All right, are you ready?
I think I am.
All right, take it away.
You're not some shadow girl. You don't have to hold all the emotions of the world in your heart. You're original, unique beyond bounds. I have to take a deep breath to process you're not perfect sometimes. Just don't forget you stand out to me like a flame in the middle of the ocean, and I can help with just a hand and a single motion. You feel so much more than I can imagine, more than even you can imagine. You're not some shadow girl. You don't have to hold all the emotions of the world in your heart. You're original, unique beyond bounds. I have to take a deep breath to process you're not perfect sometimes. And you know what you gotta do, what you're gonna do. And you know how you're gonna handle all of this in your soul. You're original, unique beyond bounds. I have to take a deep breath to process you're not perfect sometimes, and that's okay. You're not some shadow girl. You don't have to hold all the emotions of the
That was awesome, Reagan.
Thank you,
Thank
Mariah.
you so much for playing this for us.
Absolutely.
This is a good song. So when did you write this?
I wrote this last month.
Alright.
What month is it? October. Nope. September. I wrote it September 2nd. Anyway, that's the first edit, I guess.
That's awesome. I love this. Do you have a favorite line in your song that kind of stands out to you? Or just a favorite part of your song in general?
I don't know. I really like the second verse when I do like the, and you know. I like that part.
Mm-hmm.
In the song, it's kind of weird. I tried to mark in like an odd sort of vibrato type sounding piece where like you start just singing the note, but then you go into like a drastic vibrato for a second and then you end the note. It's a really cool effect, and I was kind of playing around with it, but I think in my demonstration I didn't sing it.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah.
With the live versions of songs, it's different every time. Well, thank you so much, Reagan. This is wonderful.
Well, thanks for having me on your podcast, Mariah.
There we go. That's the end of our second podcast. I hope that you really enjoyed the interview that I had with a songwriter today, and I hope you also really liked the song that she performed for all of you. Stay tuned for the next episode. See you guys later.